So you may notice that it's not talking simulator right now. This is intentional. Cam is not well. So he's not coming in. So we'll do Quadrilateral Cowboy next week. But I'm here. So I'm gonna play Dead Cells. Cause this game good. I'm gonna play it. Cam should be fine. It's nothing serious, I think. Okay. Let's remember how to play this game. There is actually a reason I wear a hat while streaming. It's because the glare is something else. Jeez, is this game like Dark Souls or not? I think people throw that term around a little too easily. Like, it's a fantasy game. There's monsters in it. There are also doors. I mean, it's a lot more, like, I think it has a lot more in common with Castlevania. And that sort of ilk than Dark Souls. Although Dark Souls is... you know what it is? This game and Dark Souls share a common ancestor, which is to say Castlevania, or Metroid, or whatever. So it's like evolution. This also has some things in common with Rogue Legacy, which is a game I very thoroughly enjoyed. I'm so cool. Do you die a bunch? Is it really difficult? But that's like... I really hate that read. I think that's a bullshit read on Dark Souls. I think that is a bullshit read on Dark Souls. It's like, if the entire game is... That's super reductionist, actually. It's just like, oh, it's really hard, so it's Dark Souls. It's like... Come on, man. I mean, personally, I don't think Dark Souls' defining characteristic is its difficulty. I think it's Dark Souls' defining characteristic is that it's really, really good and well thought out and rich in atmosphere and everything else. But yeah, this is a rogue light. It's really good. It's fun. Combat is tight. Controls are tight, which is, I mean, you've got my attention right there. Tactical. You son of a bitch. Oh wait, there's rolling in it, so it's Dark Souls. There's a thing up there. Dark Souls' defining characteristic is that it's carefully made, carefully played. Yes, thank you. That's more like it. Oi. Glad. to do this myself. PJ3501 just subscribed, but I'm Tish for 33 months. In honor of No Talking Sim will simulate a 33-month subscription. And KDH of Avalon 87 for 21 months. Bonus Metrovania starting Alex, I'll send to that. Ooh. Ready to get poisoned? Hi! So here's the light part of this roguelike. I have 7 more to unlock before I get that. Don't mind me, I'm just mumbling to myself. Gimme. What is the significance of the difference between a roguelike and a roguelite? A true roguelike, you lose everything, and each run is discrete. Like, you complete a run or you don't. The end. If you die during the run, that's it. Start again. A roguelite, you have some amount of progression. So for this, in this particular game, you unlock stuff that you can start each run with. Similar to Rogue Legacy, where you would have better ancestry in your characters, and like you'd unlock more character types that you could begin the game as you collected stuff throughout the game. But other than that, the actual run itself, all the shit that you get is random and lost when you die. Like Isaac? Does Isaac have that? I thought that Binding of Isaac was a true roguelike. Because it's more than just game modes, it's like actual like enhancements. I've actually never played much of Binding of Isaac. I really didn't like it. Unlockable characters. Oh, okay. I guess that's a little bit, but this one is like much more of a... Yeah, Binding of Isaac still sounds like a true roguelike. Just because, like, even with different characters, like this one is, and Rogue Legacy are much more about like you get better, like you get measurably better in terms of options, as opposed to just like here's a different way to play the game. It did say flashbang. I love Rogue Legacy. See, for me, I think roguelites represent the perfect sort of union of like the sort of spontaneous experience of, you know, run through a roguelike, but also like the sort of, you know, getting a toehold of like a Metroidvania game. I really like that because you kind of get the best of, oh, I hate these things. I hate them so much. No, no, no! You know what? I don't even want to bother with them. It burns! It burns! I mean, better in this case being subjective, but I mean, I certainly think it's a better way of doing it. Mainly just because I'm, you know, I love roguelikes, but they're so fucking hard. And I just don't have the time to invest in, like, getting really amazing at games that don't demand... Like, there's a handful of games that I will invest enough time to get, like, really amazing at to play them. Which certainly is enough for me to get plenty of shit about on social media. I exaggerate a little bit. I had one guy who was profoundly salty. Like, how do you respond to somebody implying this, like, you need to admit this? I had some dude take a run at me saying, like, you need to admit that you're bad at video games and that's why you didn't like these ones. It's like, what? Like, there's no fucking conversation here, dude. So yeah, see all these little jars? This is full of shit I've unlocked. Like improvements, etc. I was like willing to give them the time of day, almost. But then I saw a second message that they sent me on Twitch. It was just sort of a variation, unless it was like a different person. But it was just like, oh, okay, so you're just an asshole who isn't looking to have a discussion here. You're just mad because I didn't like your favorite game. Did you know you can have a different opinion from mine? Right. YOLO! Somebody actually pointed out something, which is that, like, Cam and I don't have to be good at video games to have thoughts about them. It's like you don't need to be an engineer to say the fucking roof is leaking. So, anyway. Gamers! I think this game would be straight unplayable without a controller. I think side-scrolling games are designed, or if not designed, then like ideally suited to controllers. I can't really think of any off the top of my head that are better with mouse and keyboard. Go down this way. I don't have the thing that does stuff with the sarcophagus yet. Side-scrolling games with a controller always feels really bad. I mean, different strokes, right? You know, use whichever one you like. But I think that they're, you know, because they're using the language, like a lot of the techniques sort of pioneered in the sort of like SNES, Sega, NES era, like they're just gonna be suited to controllers, you know, on a sort of subtle level, but also maybe not every, you know, not all of these are made equal. Like this one has like, extraordinarily tight controls, so I think it's really well suited for a controller. God damn falling damage. I'm okay. Also depends, like, what controller are we talking about? Oh wait, I don't take damage, I just get stunned. Well... like, my personal... and it also depends on the game genre. Like, for example, I would never think to play PUBG with a controller. But... Dark Souls, I would never think to play with mouse and keyboard. This is like... yeah, different games that control different ways. Ow. That's rude. Oh god. Rip. See, like, I don't think I'd be able to do those sort of complicated movements with a keyboard. Or at least it would just be... whee! More challenging for me. I haven't played Out of the Gungeon. I don't actually think I like twin sticks. I don't know why. They just never really grabbed me. I fucking love side-scrollers like this one. I generally speaking like third-person games. Just... I couldn't tell you what it is about twin sticks that doesn't terribly attract me to them. I don't like twin sticks. I don't like, Diablo-likes, whatever the hell you want to call those. The ones where you're like, your entire... well, your gameplay is like... I hate that. I'm like, surely there's gotta be a better way to control this game. Action RPGs? Although... isometric. Yeah, maybe that's it. Down, auto attack is the future. Ah. I can turn that down a little bit. Sweet. You know what? That's better. ARPG? Really? I always got, like, I'm trying to think what I associate with action RPG. Link. Like, the 3D Link games, which I've not played. I think those are action RPGs. But it's like, what the fuck do these genres mean anymore anyway? They're just, like, the basic, like, I think their usefulness is only really as far as, like, basic reference and categorization. You have to, like, ignore so many details of something to just, like, throw a title on it. Like, some of them are super clear, and others are, like, eh. Like, strictly speaking, Dark Souls is an action RPG. Kind of. Or is it a true RPG? We just don't know. Okay, I just want to check something. Nice. Ew! Obscene Wolf for 4 months, welcome back. Yeah, you can change your eating habits in this game. Would I not want huge guts? No, thank you. Rip and tear. Yeah, like these broad categories, like, have some use, but it seems like every discussion that gets, like, hung up in it doesn't actually go anywhere and just descends very rapidly into, like, horrendous pedantry, which is how you make me real unhappy in a big hurry. I have an after image because my head is a flaming thing. That looks gross and probably poisonous. It's real spoopy in here. And I don't like that there's no enemies. Uh-oh. Hi! Okay. You, maybe? I don't know if I trust this dude. What the fuck? There's a lot of really good game design at work here. I knew that was dangerous instinctually and sought to avoid it. Asshole. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Fucking what? Mushroom Man! That was really weird. I wasn't even paying attention. I don't actually know where I am. Website, free chat service, 7 cups of tea. It can be helpful. I mean, you might have to roll a couple times before you get something you really click with, but it's helped me before. Oh, hello. I want it. So there's actually a topic I wanted to approach very carefully, where it relates to pedantry. Because on the one hand, it can be this really, really infuriating, like, discussion stifling thing. On the other hand, some people need that explicit context to make sense of the world. And that presents, you know, somebody like me with a dilemma, because it's like, you know, when I encounter somebody being like really pedantic in chat, I'm like, is this person being a shithead, or is that, you know, is this how they interact with things? And am I going to be an asshole if I'm like, you need to stop that because it's driving me nuts? Oh god, no! Nope, 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 nope. Not interested. No sale. Okay. Yes, this is why it's tricky, is because, by and large, pedantry drives me up the fucking wall. Although, yeah, your friends and have often gotten into arguments where— Why? Fucking why? Oh, there's a rally system in this game? How about that? Healthy? Oh, shit. I don't like it. Ning. Ning. Get me out of here. Hang on. Oh, one time. Oh, right! I had that thing. Okay. Hi. Here? Yeah, okay, sure, why not? Oh, fuck. Ying ying. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, I'm not leveled enough to rumble with that. So here's another thing you can get is I unlocked an upgrade so that I retain 25% of my gold when I die. There's a problem with this guy's strats. Oh, this is early access. It's one of them good early access games, whereas there's a game and they're just adding content. Yeah, the other thing where Pentry gets, like, really tricky for me is I'm given to understand that some people on the autism spectrum tend to engage with topics in a sometimes pedantic way, and that I want to be sensitive about, because it's like, well, now I'm really gonna be a prick if I say that this is annoying. Although again, some people have told me it's just like, well, just, you know, explain yourself. Excuse me. 4 left on here. Speaking of early access games that are adding content, how do you feel about PUBG adding first-person only mode? That sounds sweet. I'm into that. Also, like, I thought it was kind of funny when they introduced, like, zombie mode and people went ballistic about it. They're like, this game's ruined. It's like, you know it's a game mode, right? Chill. Also, like, fix the netcode first! It's like, you really don't understand how game dev works at all, do you? I think there's a different team working on netcode than there is on content. But you think it's all from the same pool. There's like that guy who thought that Wizards of the Coast should stop producing Friday nights and use the money they saved to reinstate the player rewards program. It's like, are you high or something? That's not at all how that works. And even if it was, screw you. Do. It was also really funny because they were under the impression that we made a lot more money than we actually do. They were like, it's like, yeah, you'll save $60,000 canceling this show. And it's like, what? Where's my check? We make $60K on this show? Holy fuck. I'm gonna buy a house. No, I'm gonna buy some avocado toast, yeah. Oh man, sorry, I missed a couple of subs. Major Hicks, cheer to the 100 bits. I've been going through some stress lately due to school, but I'm glad Laura's still here to give a break now and then. Hey, that's what we're here for. And Tarkus for 14 months. Hope Cam gets well and unbelated for getting me into Quadrilateral Cowboy. It's amazing. It's super exciting. Yeah, I really am looking forward to talking about Cowboy because it's really good, and I'm hoping that I can use it as a jumping off point to explain my relationship with puzzle games. I'm gonna try and not like blow my load on like right now just talking about it, but one of the things I want to do first when we get into that is a distinction that I came up with pretty recently, which is I think that I differentiate problem-solving games and confoundment games. And I fucking hate confoundment games because they're all about guessing what the hell drug the devs were smoking when they came up with the puzzle, whereas problem-solving games are like, here are all the tools you have to work with, here are what the problems are and how they are solved. Enjoy. And I was like, I will. Because I can engage with this. Yeah, like, there was a question whether we were going to do any of the Scum kind of like LucasArts games or, you know, puzzle games like that. And I was like, no, I hate them. I really hate them. I know that they're, like, classics, but I can't stand adventure games like that, like adventure puzzle games. Because they're confoundment games. Like, they're just like, try to figure out what the fuck they were thinking of, you know, and like rub these objects on these other objects until something happens. I play, like, I'm trying to remember which ones I played back in the day. Like, I played, because, like, I played some of them, and I think I ended up not liking them later, because I played, like, Sam & Max, and I played the Indiana Jones one, Atlantis. And I was just like, it may have been one of those things like how I spent many years going to clubs and trying to figure out why I didn't like them. And then I was like, wait a second, I hate clubs. Never thought of it. You know, it's just like a thing that's super popular that you're like, why am I not enjoying this? It's like, oh, because you don't like it. Like, sure, there's, you know, there's reasons why they're like that, but it doesn't make them good. Like, that's, if anything, that's a worse mark against them. It's just like, oh, these were, you know, these experiences were artificially padded out because kids could only afford a game a year. So they had to be, like, really annoying and, pretend to have more content than they actually did. It's like, that's not good. There's a tiny handful of notable exceptions to this rule. I really like Machinarium and Samorost, but I think a big part of why I like those games was not only was I 1000% invested in the aesthetic, they had fucking strategy guides in the game! Because when you're just like, I can't figure out what this confoundment is, I don't understand it. It was just like, it's cool, bruh. We have a beautifully rendered little instruction manual on how to get through this. And I was like, I appreciate that. Because it's like, oh, I'll try and figure it out for myself. Okay, now I can't figure it out. And rather than getting pissed off, it was just like, no, here's how it's done. Yeah, Samorost is good times. I mean, that's also why, like, I sort of, you know, have a cracking smile when people talk about sending me, like, awful games like that on, for, watch and play. Like, I'll put up with it for watch and play. But, like, for real, though, I fucking hate that shit. I really hate it. Like, it just makes my blood boil. Like, I'm probably going to be bringing up Ether 1 when we do, what was it called? Like, we're probably going to come up with, you know, just, like, top 10 worst puzzle confoundments imaginable. Pablo Phoenix for 8 months. Thanks for the fantastic content, Alex. Keep up the good work and don't let the haters get you down. Well, it's not the haters I need to worry about, it's myself. What was I talking about? I lose my train of thought so easily. This is why I need Cam. Right, yeah, top 10 confoundments. Like, does anybody remember me playing Ether 1? Yeah, there's one from Ether 1 and one from one of the, Not Primordia, not... Because I played that one as well and I didn't like it. Penumbra. The fucking string in a box. I think that might have been where it started. Like, string in a fucking box. It was like OG style shit, yeah. Now, Ether 1 was like... It was actually a cool concept. It was like, oh, you are logging in... Or you're just, like, infiltrating the memories of, you know, people with dementia to try and, like, fix their brain. But it was just like, oh, it's a fucking puzzle game with shitty puzzles. There was one moment where... Like, this is exactly what I mean when I talk about confoundment games. There were some hoses you needed to cut. And to cut the hoses, you had to take a glass jar that you found and put it inside of a hydraulic press to break it. To break the ordinary glass jar so that you would have shards of glass with which to cut the hose. It's like, this isn't interesting or clever or fun or something that you could figure out without, like, smoking crack. That's what I'm talking about when I say a confoundment puzzle. It's just like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bad game design. And just, like, I don't understand. Yeah, the other one in Penumbra was, and this was just like, this was exquisite. I was in a cave, and there was like a cave-in, and I had to, like, blast it. Romanian Maya Stushin for 26 months. Hey Alex, I've been binging Feeddom. I'm curious if you have a standout WTF news story on every time I've done the show. Cheers and thanks for 2 years of web content. Hashtag butts. I don't know. I've not been on Feeddom in a while. But anyways, this puzzle. Oh god. So yeah, it's like we've got a keg of powder, and we need to figure out a way to, you know, set it off. I'm like, sure, I can grok this. And I was like, okay, I can figure this out. And I found a conspicuous wooden box with a conspicuous length of string in it. It's like, okay, I got this. This is obviously a fuse. And I tried picking it up, and I couldn't pick it up. And I tried and tried and tried and tried to pick it up, and I was like, is the game broken? Like, is it glitched? This is obviously the correct item for this puzzle. And I was like going nuts trying to figure it out, and I think I read strategy guides and it even said, like, you need to pick up the string, and I was like, I can't fucking get ye string! And it wasn't until, like, I think I checked some more guides or something, and I was like, I had to go into the library to read a book that explained the concept of a fuse to my character, who evidently had never heard of a fucking fuse. And I was like, who does this? Like, it's not a puzzle, it's fucking confounding. Ah! Conversely, Quadrilateral Cowboy is really well designed. It's actually excellent. Yeah, I think that one might have broken my spirit a little bit. Maybe that's why I don't like puzzle games. I also got really, really mad at, what was it? Antichamber? Oh, I did not like that at all. Because, like, I like, you know, things that accomplish, explanations through inference. I do. But there's, like, inferring stuff, and then there's just, like, obtuse. And I was like, I don't know, like, I couldn't figure out what the puzzle was. I was like, what is the puzzle here? Like, where is the puzzle? And people, you know, would send me cutesy remarks like, oh, you just need to look at it from a different perspective. And it's like, what? Like, where's the puzzle? It's like, I'm sure you had a great time when you, like, figured this out immediately. But, I don't know. It's weird because, like, Antichamber is, like, part confoundment, part problem-solving game because it does give you tools to work things out. But it's just, like, figuring out where the fuck those tools can even be utilized is part of the difficulty. Like, I should never be searching for the puzzle. I think that's not good, myself. Like, if it's not clear where the puzzle is or what it is, how am I supposed to engage with it? I mean, that's what happened to Kate when she was playing Rain World, where she was like, I think she mentioned to somebody, it was like, yeah, this game's like really hard. No, like bullshit hard. And they're like, well, you know, it's, you know, life's tough at the bottom of the food chain. It's like, no, I don't want the elevator pitch. The game is actually like broken. Oh boy. I was really, really, really disappointed with Rain World because it looked like it was going to be so my shit and so my aesthetic. And it was just like, do you enjoy bullshit, cheap deaths and like fucking this, that, and the other thing? And I was like, I was really confused why, like, this game was in early access, or not early access, but I think they had like a forum for like early development. I was like, how did people, how is anybody okay with this? Like, oh, if you die, it cascades into like this failure state where you're not even treading water, you're actually just like going backwards. And then it's like you have to play it for way, way, way longer. Did I play Rogue Legacy? Yeah, I love it. Love that game. That game's very good, and this game reminds me of it, so... Two great tastes. That's new. Also, hi, Pharmacist Judge. Did you know Pharmacist Judge is a real pharmacist and a real judge? That's right. He can tell you what's in your script and give you a game loss. There's adding tension and, you know, making things, like, challenging, and then there's actually just, like, this is so hard that it's actually not interesting. Like, Dark Souls is very challenging, but by and large, it is a fair game. There are some bullshit deaths in that game for sure, but by and large, it's a fair game. So when you die, you're like, oh, I fucked up. Not, the game fucked me. 20 years hard time. Not that kind of judge. Magic judge. Yeah, Bed of Chaos is horseshit. I've actually never played any of the Arkham games, so I have no opinion on them. I understand they're very beloved. Yeah, like the archers in Anor Londo, and like even the pathway through Anor Londo is kind of bullshit. Blighttown's kind of bullshit a little bit. Maybe I'm alone in thinking that Blighttown is like, I don't even want to say it's not that bad, because it is. It's very confusing to get around. I don't know. Okay, I don't understand the sentence. Isn't Touhou 100% deterministic? I don't know what that means. Dang, I'm so bad at these. Dang it. Every Touhou level is 100% scripted. Oh, okay. So like the encounters pan out every time exactly the same. It's like, oh, at this point in the level, you will have these mobs. The patterns are... Oh, okay. I didn't know what that name meant. Or that word meant. In Playtown confusing, you just go down. I see what you did there. Dang it. Curse could stack? Ree! I've not seen Joseph Anderson's YouTube videos on Dark Souls. I've actually not been thinking about Dark Souls a lot recently. Like, I think we covered that topic pretty exhaustively when we were playing it. And it's a super important game, but, you know, it's like... I don't enjoy rhythm games. I have no problem with how they are designed. I think they're fine. It's just not a genre that I enjoy. Yeah, it's different from like puzzle games, which I actually think are kind of badly designed in a lot of cases. Rhythm games seem fine. It's just a genre and like gameplay style that I don't especially care for. I'll tell you, rhythm games do represent what seems to be a virtually limitless breadth of innovation when it comes to like mechanics. Like that's really impressive to me. I almost wish I did like rhythm games because it's like they come up with so many different ways to, you know, to sort of subdivide ways of doing rhythm stuff. Like I've seen a little bit of Rhythm Heaven and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But it's just like my sense of timing is so shit that I was like, I can't do it. Opinions on horror games. I have no opinions on horror games whatsoever. Please refer to my series Let's Nope and various shows before that. Oh, I love horror games and they're all shit. I'm half joking. The horror genre is... It's a hell of a thing. Because it's really easy to make a horror game and very difficult to make a good horror game. So as a result, there's a lot of them and very few of them are good. Like, very few of them. Like, I would probably need the chat's help to talk about the number of horror games that I thought were actually, like, really compelling. I thought Soma was good. I liked Soma. Let me try and think about horror games I really liked. I liked Soma. I liked the first fucking the really classic one where you can't look at the monster. Wow, why can I not think of this? I really like Layers of Fear. I like Detention. The first Outlast was pretty good. I like Silent Hill 3, but I don't think Silent Hill 3 is a good game. Amnesia, thank you. That was Amnesia. Silent Hill 2 is interesting. I also don't know that it's that great a game. Kolat, I liked. Kona, I thought was pretty good. I did not care for Alien Isolation, and it was really. You should watch my playthrough of with Cam, because it was very frustrating that I didn't like it because I really wanted to. Oh, Dreadout was also pretty good. I hated Machine for Pigs. I thought the game was shit. Sorry. Oh boy. That's another confoundment game. Like, I think the point at which I was completely done with that game was when we found like a gas can and went and like filled it up and brought it back and like put it into the car and, you know, started the car, and then the car drove 2 feet to open up a gate. And I was like, why are we doing these miserable fucking chores? I really liked Alan Wake. I mean, I think, you know, watching us, you know, grind through the whole thing as quickly as we could, I could see that being repetitive, but the first time I played it, we played it in short bites. I think it's really good. I think it's a very successful kind of action horror game. It's not especially horrifying, but it's like, it really taps into that kind of spooky kind of, you know, Twin Peaks vibe, even though I've never seen Twin Peaks, that it's trying to, you know, Outer Limits kind of shit. I played a little bit of Eternal Darkness and I wasn't super impressed. Maybe I would have had to have played that when it came out to be more into it. Distraint was another like random horror game that I thought was really good. I thought the atmosphere was great. Oh, that house one by Kitty Horror Show. Anatomy? Holy fuck, that was good. That was so good. Would I categorize Dark Souls in any serious category of horror? Kind of. Like, this is where these categories really break down. Because, like, Dark Souls is kind of horrifying. From, you know, like, sort of, like, big, scary monsters and, you know, aesthetic, or, like, kind of dread aspect. But it's, like, I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily a horror game. I was pretty impressed with Spooky's House of Jump Scares. The DLC, not so much. Minecraft is a horror game. Prayer Warriors. Bloodborne's like horror action as well. You know, maybe it's just like how like horror can be an aesthetic and it can also be like, I don't know how to categorize it. It's tricky, right? I've actually never played... I think I may have played Slenderman Likes, and I didn't think they were very good. I've never played the original. I got the impression that it relies very heavily on cheap jump scares. Also, there's so many different, like, flavors of horror, right? There's, like, spooky and disturbing and, like, horrifying and revolting and blah, 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 blah. That are all sort of under this like greater horror umbrella. That, you know, further makes it interesting. And objective and aesthetic are both. Yeah, that sounds about right. Inside was so good. Inside was super good, and unfortunately I think you can only play that game once. I really didn't like Sunless Sea. This is another one that I felt kind of bad because like a lot of people really love that game, and they you know, were looking forward to me playing it, and I hated it. I felt that it was like it was a top-down boat game that you would drive between choose your own text adventures, and I was like, nope. Not into it. Ah! So, sorry about that. You know, it's possible that I don't like... You know what it might be? Maybe I think that video games are a poor medium to be exploiting a lot of text. because you find, like, I feel the same way about, you know, overly long audio logs. It's like, why the fuck am I reading this? You know, it's like, it's an interactive visual medium. Like, show me what's going on. You know, I don't mind when an amount of, you know, text is utilized for, you know, a particularly interesting tell, but it's like, if I'm walking around in a game like this and I pick up a book, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I have to read this now? Like, I'm in the middle of, like, doing stuff. I'm doing things. Now I have to sit on my ass and read this. Like, it's frustrating. Evil Within was bad. It was like, what if Resident Evil 4 took itself really, really seriously? I'm a serious horror game. I'm serious. It sucked. We have health. Let's get more weapon damage. Yeah, I also cutscenes I don't think are great. I think I enjoy in-action cutscenes, you know, sort of like Half-Life style, where, you know, you still have control over your character and you can do stuff. But even then, personally I think that the optimal, I mean, I say optimal, my preferred solution is when everything is related to the character in a really organic way, without having to, like, go to the player, stop, wait, here is story, hold on, I'm gonna grab your head and, like, dunk it into the story over and over and over again. It's like, okay, now you can go on your way. It's like, could you not? Kind of like why I like Dark Souls. There's a little bit of reading. There's a lot of sort of like visual inference, and a little bit of dialogue. But yeah, that's what a cutscene is. It's just like, grab the player's head, dunk them into the story. You're just like, it's like, no, you must have story. Take story, drink deep of story. It's like, I think it's really bad for video games, because it's like, you're taking what is intrinsically a interactive medium and taking that away from the player to try and tell them shit. It's like, don't do that if you can avoid it. Or if you're going to take control away from the player, do so for an interesting reason. Would you kindly? You know what I mean? I thought BioShock had a lot of problems, but it was pretty interesting. Like, the way they subvert the entire, like, thing that people take for granted, which is that there's always a goddamn Ramirez, or, like, a character Ramirezing you throughout the game. And then it's like, oh, what if that person was evil? Cam did point out that show versus tell isn't always the best tack. I missed a whole bunch of people. Sorry, Bagel Panda with 10 months. Your thoughts on those games are amazing, super helpful for someone currently going through college programming, specifically games. Keep it be awesomeness. And Sidewinder Sky for 10 months. I thought my sub lapsed because I wasn't paying attention. So I want to send you good vibes. Thanks for really words and creativity and the struggle therein. Yeah, Cam recounted, and I think Julie recounted a prof who really drilled it into people's heads, you know, the show don't tell, and their stories ended up awful anyways. I think the point of it is to just try and break people out of, like, being overly telly, but, you know, at the risk of making them too showy. It's just like, oh god. Aussie with, you know, for 32 months. No DB nonsense this time, just lost 2 doggos in a week and trying to escape in streams. Rest well, poor doggos. Can I get a definition on the term Ramirez? Sorry, it's from Call of Duty, where I think your character's name is Ramirez, and, like, the asshole on the radio is just like, Ramirez, go do this! Ramirez, go do this! Ramirez, go do this! So... show, don't tell, sometimes don't even mention it. But also other times show and tell. Or show or tell, depending on what is appropriate. That's one of the. I guess that's one of those frustrating tasks of like trying to break people out of, you know, bad habits, but first trying to identify what bad habits they may or may not have already. You know, like this shit happens with anime style. It's like why art teachers really resolutely try to drive that out of people is because, like, for a lot of people it's a crutch. For a handful of people they make it really, really work. But for most people they're like, I am going to copy this, you know, style and have it look like poo. And never try to go outside of that, you know. Which is, so telling people to not try to ape on that style mindlessly is a good idea for many, but not a good idea for some who are like really into it and actually make it work. So it's like, give respect to your teachers. Robot! Just said welcome to the channel. I should take a break soon. I'm gonna try to get to the midpoint here. You know what it is? The right tool for the right job. If something requires a tell, use a tell. If something requires a show, use a show. There are many tools in your kit, and no single tool is ever going to do everything you want it to do all the time. You know, whether narratively or stylistically or, you know, whatever. I think for the most part, it's about making informed decisions about, you know, what works and what doesn't work. You know, why you would want to do something like this. It's like, I think a lot of the pitfalls are just like thoughtless choices. It's just like, why did you do this? Well, I thought it would be cool. It's like, well, I guess. I mean, that's why, you know, they say learn the rules first. That's because, like, you need to learn the rules to know what rules there are so that later you can make informed decisions on which rules to break and why. Because you can't just be like, oh, I'm so, you know, I'm going to break all the rules. It's like, well, why are you breaking the rules? Well, because the rules there and I don't want to break them. It's like, well, you're not achieving anything by doing that, dude. Like tangents. Actually, yeah, that's a perfect example. Adam Warren has a great comic on tangents. If anybody can find it, that would be wonderful. Oh shit. Like, asshole. Because he's very clear to point out that the tangents that drive artists crazy are ones that imply which unintentionally imply a relationship between two shapes. The key operating word there being unintentionally. If you do it on purpose to, you know, connect two ideas, then that's cool. But most people do it accidentally. Let me see if this is the one, because if it is... Yes! That comic. Read that comic. It's so good. It tells you everything you ever needed to know about tangents and why they don't do or don't work. It might be linked if, like, you click through to it. Hey, settle down. Y'all need to settle down. Chill. Asshole. This game is really pretty, and by rights, it should be really... Like, visually, it should be really busy, but they managed to still... Like, I think they could have gone a little more subtle with it, but it still works. Like, everything is clear what it is. Like, where the character is, you know, where all the shit is, you know, largely what's going on. You can tell, you know, what's a thing that you can climb on and what isn't. Personally, I like a little more subtlety in my design, but it just works. It's fine. Action feels good, animation is good, music is good, game feels real good. I did not play Hyper Light Drifter. Be aggressive, be aggressive. Yeah, I think maybe the use of very dark colors in the like not travelable areas, but with just like a little bit of hints at the corners. Like you can see this big area off to the right, left, to the left of me is obviously like that's a wall, and all the lit areas are areas I can climb on. So like anything dark is something that I can interact with. I'm trying to go for the random weapon upgrade. Where can you find the comic I'm working on? It is dregscomic.tumblr.com. I hope you read it and I hope you enjoy it because it's a big deal for me. By the way, I have a webcomic. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Yes. What's my opinion of the 60 FPS war? I mean, I notice a difference below 60 FPS, and it sometimes bothers me. And you know, I played a lot of console games back in the day when, you know, everything was 30 FPS. I definitely prefer higher frame rates myself. As far as a war, like, any fucking gaming war is a stupid pile of bullshit that, you know, people are gonna get super butt blasted over, and it'll just generally be a big waste of time. Yeah, I mean, like, my own preference is, like, 60 FPS or bust, but I think it's just because, like, I've gotten accustomed to it and I'm sensitive to, not, like, sensitive, but, like, I notice it and it bugs me. And then there's people like Milt who literally can't play games that are in 30 FPS because it makes them nauseous. Like, I found... And it's also, like, it depends on the game. Like, I think I could play a side-scroller like this at 30 FPS, no problem. But I found... actually, there's more to it than that. I was going to say that I found Dishonored 2 unplayable because it wasn't necessarily the frame rate itself, it was how wildly the frames fluctuated. Like, it would just, like, have, like, a 20 or 30 FPS, like, variance, depending on what you were doing. And it's, like, it's so distracting. It's like, I can't play this. Ow? I need food. Yeah, I've heard that, you know, Dishonored 2 was really, really poorly optimized, which really broke my heart, because I fucking loved Dishonored, and I was really looking forward to playing Dishonored 2 and playing as Emily and doing all that stuff, and I was just like, I can't fucking play this, because I was like, I don't care how low I have to put the settings, just give me a consistent frame rate. Any frame rate, even 30 FPS, and I couldn't get that. It was just all over the place, and I was just like, I can't play this. It looks like shit, and that sucks. Anyway, I am going to take a brief break, and then I'll be right back. Playing it on the Office's PC for a game that I wanted to play by myself is just like, that ain't me anymore. Are we still on no commercials? We're on no commercials. I said so. What's my opinion on freemium games, aka $60 games with free-to-play stuff? I've actually not played any freemium games. I've never heard anything good about them, though. I mean, you're sort of loading the question by, you know, by presenting it in those terms, but that is my opinion. Well, not my opinion, because, you know, it's not an informed opinion, because I haven't played them. But that's the impression that I get, that nobody likes freemium, except devs who make a shit ton of money. I think there's a lot of really bad, like, business models for games that they're presently able to get away with because there's no sort of, like, I don't believe there's any kind of regulation on them. They can just do whatever the fuck they want, and, you know, they're not putting a gun to anybody's head and saying you have to buy this, but I should get Andrew Ferguson on here to rant about Overwatch loot crates. Like, he loves that game, and so do I, but the way they've done loot crates is, well, it's really fucking manipulative, is what it is. I mean, like, the Gashapon style of getting, like, in-game goodies is really clever from a marketing perspective. And really shitty for, you know, people who want stuff. Video games are in a weird position as development costs increase, but the price of games don't really adjust for inflation. Yeah, there's also that too. You know, people want to pay. I mean, it's, you know, it's also bad from the, you know, the people who consume games, because they're like, I want 7,000 hours and I want to pay $15 for this game. It's like, fuck. It's like, well, we're a little studio and we're charging $20. It's like, this game isn't worth the money, so I pirated it. It's like, can't have nice things. I suppose it's a little bit of a weird ethical quandary, right? It's like, is it wrong to give somebody exactly what they want in the worst possible way? Like, if somebody has a magpie itch for in-game crap, is it right of you to, you know, be like, oh, you can have that, but it's under one of these shells, and it's $5 to look under a shell. You know, like, is that exploiting, you know, people's impulses, or, you know, like, should people have better impulse control? I don't know. That sounds like a very complicated issue to unpack. I mean, it's the same as, like, marketing. It's just like, oh, hey, this is open. Hey! Look at that! I ain't never been through one of these before. You know, it's the same as marketing. It's like, well, nobody's making you. Woo! Oh, I should go back. Nobody, like, technically speaking, yeah, nobody's making you buy anything. But they are utilizing every trick imaginable to exploit, you know, human frailty, you know, and inability to say no to things. So I can't go back. It's like. I mean, it's like, at what point are you just like, sort of, you know, low-key tapping into people's, like, gambling impulses, which is like, it's probably not cool. There is also the matter of, like, marketing to kids. It's like, people who literally can't make informed choices because they're teeny. Like, that's gotta be unethical. Boy, do I ever have a complicated relationship with Overwatch. Because, you know, on the one hand, that stuff with, you know, loot crates is kind of shitty, but on the other hand, you know, they've done pretty good stuff with, you know, having a cast that's all over the place in some cases and not in others. But also, it's been a really vital tool for coping with anxiety, so there's also that. It's also, like, a great platform for me to, you know, hang out with my friends, so it's really complicated. You know, maybe it's the same as Steam. God, my brother went on a tear about Steam and how it really sucks. Do you remember when Steam used to make games? They don't need to make games anymore because they now literally have people making them content almost for free that gives them shit tons of money. Oh yeah, it's like Space Marine. I feel the same way. I purchased Team Fortress 2 when it came out, and it was excellent, and I just watched it devolve into this clusterfuck of, like, not even freemium, but just, like, it sucked. That game was literally ruined by hats. Like, and not even just hats, just like the endless, you know, side grade shit. You know, they figured out, it's like, oh wait, we can give this game away and make more money than God by adding, you know, by exploiting people's impulses. And it's just like, oh, and this was the one that really got to me was, and by fucking up our really clean, iconic visual style with hats and side grade weapons that break the color, oh, not even the color pie, but the roll chart of all the characters in the game that initially had very clear-cut roles in the game, which was why it was really good, but now it's just poo. Oh, I love this one. Yes. Kia! I'm gonna kick some fools. Like, the one that I couldn't deal with was the heavy got a minigun that shot fire. I was like, that's the fucking Pyro's job! Only he gets to do fire stuff! I think that it was actually all over for that game once they introduced Demo Knights. Instead of, like, a 10th melee class. They're just like, hey, how about we take this class and just completely fuck it up in such a way that it plays totally differently and weirdly and shittily and just, oh god. I've been playing, I played a shit ton of Overwatch a while ago. I've been playing mostly PUBG recently, but I actually went back to Overwatch a little bit just to, like, offline. Yeah, Team Fortress 2. Oh man, do I have feelings about that. Like, just feelings of really deep disappointment. Because that game was so good. And it became so shitty. Like, it just... If I could find, like, a vanilla server, I would probably, play that game again. But it's just like, they actually ruined it. I had so much fun playing that game for many years. Ooh, bear trap. So anyway, video games in a weird spot right now. Ow. But the thing is, like, it's more than just a game dying. Like, games stop getting, like, games' popularity wanes. Obviously, that will always happen. But this was different. Like, this wasn't just like people just stopped playing it because, there was other games and would come back to it and be like, oh, this is, still pretty good. Like, that was actually the experience I had when we played Left 4 Dead again. It was like, oh yeah, this game's actually really good. Because they didn't fuck it up. Like, they ruined it. They meddled with it. They tampered with it. And it was no longer the game that came out on release. And not even a matter of just, like, updates. It was just like they fundamentally changed what the game is for the worse. It's not even just like product, because you can obviously have that sort of cynical read on something, but it's also just like, if you had a product that existed and you're like, oh, we're gonna completely change what this product does, people would be like, no. Like, the other thing Raymond was telling me about is, like, he was so mad that they removed functionality from Counter-Strike. They edited out the ability to have spray logos and then sold it back to people. There's just like, oh, this game shipped with the ability to, add custom sprays, and we're going to remove that that functionality and then sell it to you. It's like, excuse me? So yeah, it's just like yeah, it's more than just, every game dies. Because, like, look at Dark Souls. Like, people don't play that game, like the first game. They don't play it that much, but it's still really good. Team Fortress 2 isn't good anymore. And it's not even because of the player base, it's because, like, the game itself has been fundamentally changed. Yeah. And that's shitty. Like, that's shitty and greedy and lame. And a real shame for, I don't know, I guess, I don't really want to say, like, from a historical video game point of view, but what the hell was that? Yeah, like, I don't know much about the Steam Marketplace, but I get the impression that it's just like, oh, we can just get overeager fans to create content for us, throw a price tag on it, and we don't actually have to do anything apart from give it the thumbs up, and then we make shit tons of money and toss them a pittance for their troubles. Like, is that how it is now? That's not super cool. Does this game have decent keyboard controls? I couldn't tell you because I don't use keyboard controls. It has keyboard controls, but it says explicitly on it that you should probably use a controller. You could probably manage, but I think you'll be losing something myself. I mean, I feel like an idiot now. Oh, that really... Woo-wee! That worked a treat. Also, like, what the fuck is up with trading cards and shit? I don't understand that stuff at all. Like, for a start, I don't understand how people give a shit about it, but evidently they do. And they sell it for, like, real money? Well, not real money, but just, like, Steam credit? Like, what? I'm not sure. Can somebody tell me how much? I don't know how much this game costs. I don't think it's super expensive. It is in early access, but it looks like this and plays like this. So, hey, you're probably getting your money's worth. Piss? Oh, right, I have a kick now. Hold on, I gotta have a quaff. $16. I would buy it. Wait! Ow. All I know about the trading cards is Russian money laundering. Oh no. I can believe it. That bomb is messed up. That does sound like a Cards Against Humanity answer. Where am I going? Up. I want to go up. Like, I certainly hope that this model becomes unsustainable at a certain point when people are just finally like, I'm completely sick of this shit. Or somebody offers it to them a different way. It's like, hey, remember when you could just goddamn buy games? Yeah, we're doing that. And people are like, oh, this is really great. I miss this. I'm going to support this a lot. I mean, the part of the irony of it is that Steam is still so useful, you know, as a platform for obtaining product. But it's frustrating. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it may come a time when I do start using Good Old Games or whatever. Yeah, wait, which one is, I know there was one that's like a scam that's, like reselling foreign cereals or something. Is it G2A? Yeah, is G2A the one that, like, purchases, or acquires cereals, from countries that are different from the one they're selling them in? It's practically illegal. It's practically illegal. Oh, it's gray market code reseller. Pass. Good Old Games, I think, is legit. Rourke9 for 8 months. Welcome back. mean, call me an old fuddy-duddy, but part of me sort of pines for the time when you didn't have to have a fucking account to buy a game. G2A has a problem with people stealing credit card numbers, which are used to buy Steam keys, then sold off to G2A at a low price. Well, don't buy from them. We made it to the ramparts. Red Robot refund for 5 months. Video games! Yep. Video games. The origin of healthy? I thought for the longest time it was from Wildnine, but I've not been able to confirm that because I couldn't get Wildnine to run properly. Wildnine is a PlayStation game, like regular PlayStation. Oh, I like these floating bits. Alright, what the fuck? Wow, I got so stun locked there. This game has a little bit of implied storytelling. But I think they've been focusing on getting the game functional first. I mean, to be perfectly honest, a game like this doesn't necessarily need a story, but I imagine there will be one there. It's certainly very loreful. What's the weirdest thing anybody sent us? Beach. Thing to the left at the start? Can I get back there? Hello? Hello! Well, how about that? Secrets. Beach is a lovely boy, and I will tolerate no disrespect from him. We signed up for Beach Crate. Excuse me. See, it's like Cam's really here. New beach every month. See, I imagine they're working on patching out stuff like this, like these little rooms that don't go anywhere. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to have levels be procedurally generated like this and still function. Like, there's a guy working on a game called Gibhard, and he was trying to work out a bug where sometimes the level exit would spawn inside of a wall. I was like, whoa, that sounds like one to fix. Ow. Ow. I mean, I'm glad there's programmers to do this. That's why I'm glad that I'm working with Nick on my sort of side project, which I'm never able to put as much time into as I want to. I'm working on game dev on the side, by the way. It's like a side project that, as I said, is like probably going to take 100 million years to actually have anything to show, but I think it's really cool. The elevator pitch for the game is like, you know the beginning of Force Awakens where Rey is like clambering around inside a wrecked Star Destroyer looking for stuff and then like drives around in a speeder? Yeah, that's the whole game. Looting shit from space wrecks. Aw, yeah. Also, combined with that, my undying adoration of games like Stalker and aesthetics of like 90s Japanese sci-fi like Gunhead and Zeiram. So I'm hoping it turns out well. Like I said, the development cycle on this is going to probably be like glacial, but it is something that we're working on as a sort of like when we have time project. There's a little bit of a story. It's basically like what we're working with right now is your character wants to collect enough money to leave. They just want to go home or go away from this desert they're stuck in that's full of space wrecks. So somebody offers them a ride out for some exorbitant amount of money. It's like, well, okay, I'll go get it. It's a little bit like... Actually, another game that inspired this one was the Mad Max game, which I really liked. I fucking liked that game. The story was absolute dog shit, but that game was fun. Nick is doing a little bit of the animations. We're not, like, soliciting for project members at the moment. I mean, one of the big reasons is because there's no fucking money in it. And I don't want to make promises that I wouldn't be able to keep. Yeah, the I Live in Edmonton plot. Joe X. The man with no name for 10 months, welcome back. I should probably do a game dev stream again with Nick sometime, where we can just sort of talk shop about, like... Oh, right, I go down this way. It's my favorite webcomic. Right now, it's Kill 6 Billion Demons. That comic is so good. It's just chef kiss all the way down. Yeah, the plans that I have so far is that there's going to be pretty little in terms of NPCs, because I didn't want to make, you know, yet another combat simulator. I wanted to revolve it largely around the sort of like exploration and sort of scavenging aspect. Mainly because, like, I don't mind shooters and stuff, or, you know, combat games, but it's just like every single game has combat in it. It gets boring. There will be a minor combat component, which is actually just like a hunting component. There will be little like lizards and birds and shit that you can shoot and eat. But as far as like PvP or PvE or something, it's like not really. It will be a lonely exploration game. There's gonna be a lot of hazards though. Good recommendations for solo games. It's like, you gotta help me out. Like, what kind of games do you like? I mean, Stalker, I really like. Although, that one's a weird recommendation because, like, I sometimes can't recommend it to people because the game's actually really bad. Fuck, I love that game. I have so many hours logged in. It's not very good. If you're into it, you'll love it. If you're not, if, you know, you're expecting a functional video game, you'll probably be disappointed. It's not going to be directly related to Star Wars. Like, it's going to share some aesthetics, but you're not actually going to be, like, a Jedi or anything. This double door is weird to me. I mean, I guess I should spend it while I have it. What does this one do? Oh, sure. 22? Fuck. Oh, did you know there is a Roadside Picnic TV series coming? I'm actually kind of stoked about it. Like, it looks like it's gonna be kind of like TV bullshit a little bit, but it's gonna be Roadside Picnic, and it looks like they're paying attention to the book. Because I read the book recently, and I love the book recently, and the series looks like it's actually going to be about what the book is. Roadside Picnic is so great. Roadside Picnic is a book by the Strugatsky brothers, upon which the movie Stalker by Tarkovsky and the game Stalker are both based. Please don't have insufferable resource bars that quickly drain. We may have some aspect of it. There's not going to be that many of them. Like, because it's a survival game. Oh, what? We're going to play with that to see how it works, because there's been some games where it works. And if we can't make it work, then, well, it gets cut. Also, it's not going to quickly drain. Because there's some there's some mechanics that work and others that don't. I think I want to use the minimum number required. Like, there's probably going to be... I think we're going to have Thirst and Hunger. That might be about it. Endurance as its separate thing, as like a refilling thing. One thing I'm definitely gonna not have is, you know, that thing in games where, like, if you get too much loot, it's like you can't move. It's like, fuck that shit. It'll slow you right down, and then you won't be able to pick up any more stuff. Like, that used to drive me insane in Stalkers. Like, if you're like really overloaded, and you pick up like a thumbnail, or like just like you pick up a bullet, and then it's like you are exhausted. It's like you are overloaded and you can't move. But yeah, like the game takes place in a desert setting, so you know you're gonna have to keep track of water. And you'll probably be eating stuff. But we may or may not have that. We'll see. Like, we'll see, like, if it's interesting and fun, but... we will definitely be playtesting it. And willing to cut features if they are not sufficient. It's not going to be... I think what we were talking about was, like, not as granular as the Long Dark, but maybe a little more granular than, like, Fallout. Healthy! Wait. Ah, but here's the thing about encumbrance mechanics. You have a bike with saddlebags. So you have an additional second or third inventory that travels with you. And I mean, it's like if you have a 10-foot pile of guns that you can't carry around, like, I don't know. I don't want to make a judgment call, but maybe you don't need to be that greedy. It's about efficiency, right? You mean a companion? Like a talking bike? I hadn't really thought about that. I don't think the bike is gonna talk. The bike is fun though. Get on your bike! We were talking about having a potential mechanic where you can... Oh, look, a carrot. Big high-end items that are too heavy to carry, you can drag. We just have a moment for double jump and how fucking great it is. Best power-up in the world. Well, best power-up in side-scrollers. I only get one potion so far, but... Hey! I imagine the Fallout-style games must be really, really frustrating to people with magpie impulses. And I have a little bit of that, but it's just like, I want to grab everything. It's like, well, you can't, because you can only carry so much. Why is double jump so good in side scrollers? Because it adds like so much precision to your like ability to jump. Like, just like the little bit of adjustment you get at the end of a jump is so big. It's like if you had one jump, you know, but like with two, like just before you hit the ground, you can do stuff like that. It's just like you have so much air control. It's nuts. And this is a really good double jump because this game controls very well. Wait, you just get health back from killing guys? What? How did I not notice that this whole time? Ninja. Oh no. Fuck it. Dang it. Whoa, that, what the fuck? Whoa, he hit me like a train. Air control? It just means your ability to maneuver in the air. It's a completely unrealistic and essential ability in a lot of video games. Like, it doesn't make any sense in physics. So, like, for example, like, if you were to jump normally, you'd be like, ah, I jump like this. But in a video game, if you jump, you can steer backwards. Like, that's impossible. But it feels really good in a video game to be able to, like, steer your jumps. So... yeah, air control is just, like, your ability to maneuver your character in the air. And there's not even that much of it. Like, you get a little bit of it. It makes platforming so much less awful. Games where you have no air control, like think about the like original Castlevania games where like you push the button, you are committed to that jump. You are going to go exactly this far, and it just sucks. Like you have zero air control, and it's just like you have to line the jumps up perfectly, or like fucking Prince of Persia or something, where it's like if you misjudge where you're standing on the ledge, you're like jump, dead, fucking dead. It's like, oh, I was 2 pixels off of this jump, so now I'm fucking ripped. Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins. You have a double jump in that, but they're really shitty double jumps. It was deliberate, punish you for trying to rush. Yeah, no, well, I mean, it comes from a different era, so it kind of works. Because games were like tough as nails back then, and you know, there's respect to be given there, and also like criticism. I actually quite like Egoraptor's commentary on video games. I think it's pretty insightful. Like I haven't seen any, if he's done any recent Sequelitis game videos, but the ones that I did see, I thought were really, really good. Sweet. He's been doing game props recently. With Zelda? Yeah. That wasn't one okay, so I keep admitting this every once in a while. I actually never played any of the 3D Zelda games. I barely played the 2D Zelda games. I just never, like, when I was young, the first console our family owned was a PS2. So any experience I had playing video games before then was over at friends' houses, and so I had very limited time to play any of them. So as a result, any of those like long haul kind of single player games I never got to play. And you know, now it's kind of like, it's not to say that it's like too late, but it's like those games have like come and gone, and I wouldn't have the nostalgia goggles to be able to play them. That's not to say that they're bad, but I think the time to have played and enjoyed them is, you know, is past. I had different games that I played. Like, I played a little bit of Doom on my friend's, like, 286 or whatever. Played a bunch of NES games over at my other friend's house. I played a tiny amount of Sega Genesis stuff at Sam Logan's house. You know why his art looks like that is because he played a lot of Sonic games. I eventually ended up owning a PlayStation 1. But yeah, like, it was quite a while before we had a console in the house. What is making that sound? What sound? Oh, this? The pipes? Oi! Spider swarm. Yeah, I think I had a long time interest in video games without being like super hardcore, even able to be into them for the longest time. You know, the first console I owned personally was a Dreamcast. Nope, nuh-uh. Not down. Not quite like that. What the fuck, dude? Your fucking dot damage is bananas. Oh, fuck. I never got calluses, but I did stay up till 7 in the morning to beat Metal Gear Solid 1. And I wasn't supposed to, and I had a pancake breakfast at 9 a.m. and I had to pretend that I wasn't so exhausted I wanted to die. I actually played a bunch of weird little Mac games because, like, video gaming was not a thing on Mac. I don't even say OS X because OS X didn't exist back then. Like, I'm talking like System 7, 8, 9. There was a small handful of like goofy little games that I could barely even remember their names, much less when they came out. I think I played a little bit of Marathon. But like goofy little, like, not even browser games, just like little games that people made and just like, I think you could get them through shareware. I played this game called Happy Weed a bunch. It was a Pac-Man clone, except that like you smoked reefer. It was really a barrel of laughs. And like, instead of having power pills, you could light a doobie, and then you would like get high and run around really quickly. And just, yeah, it was really good. Oh my god, somebody else remembers Happy Weed? Fuck. The weirdest thing about Happy Weed, and I can finally share this with the one other person in the universe who remembers that game, is the level begin noise is this weird sort of like, it's this weird sort of like breathy exertion noise. It's a sample from Aliens of Hicks and Ripley leaving the elevator together. And they're just sort of like, ugh, ah. And it sounds like an elevator opening as well. It's like, that was how every level started. And I was just like, what the fuck? So now, whenever I watch that movie and I hear that, I can't not think about fucking Happy Weed. So. I've never actually been high in my life, but I find weed culture to be actually, like, kind of funny. Which is probably why we keep making so many jokes about it. Never been high, never been drunk. I'm very boring that way. I had real hang-ups about that kind of stuff in elementary school. And high school, actually. Five more items. Oh. that's a much faster draw. Have I ever been out of my mind on caffeine? Probably. I've been out of my mind on sleep deprivation before, which used to be fun. It's now intensely traumatizing. Like, I kind of hate to say it, but like, Desert Bus 10 was definitely my last Zeta shift. Like, I can't do it anymore. It's too much of a strain on my system, and it really didn't help all the anxiety I was having. So I'm gonna have to do some sort of like midday or something, you know, maybe. We'll see how 11 goes. But yeah, like I can't push myself like that for that long anymore. Because before, you know, I used to get really like funny and loopy when I was really sleep deprived. Now I just get like incredibly anxious and depressed and sick. So I am at 1 health. Yeah. I'm glad if people... It's been a really, really long time since then. Okay, so how much could you tell that I was having a bad time? Like, or more, maybe more accurately, like how well did I conceal how badly I was doing? I'm a great actor. Oh, that's, I mean, that's encouraging and also like kind of depressing. It's like, shit, nobody's gonna notice that I'm like really, really beside myself. Look tired and bit out of it. Oh man, would you believe that was the that entire week was the worst anxiety attack I've ever had. I was just in hell. I did not enjoy Desert Bus 10 for no attributes, for nothing related to the event whatsoever. I did not have a good time. I was just too busy, like, feeling like garbage. So. Yeah, I imagine that people who do suffer from anxiety are able to detect that a little better. They know the tells. Yeah! I'm glad people like that speech. I hope people take it to heart. That would mean a lot to me. Because I was in a real bad place, and I wanted to do something, and I didn't know what I could do, except for that. Like, well, I have this audience for a brief time. Maybe I can impress upon them something important. Yeah, there's a clip. I kind of wish I'd had more views, but I'm not going to be picky about that. Yeah, a lot of the time when I'm tired, or if I say I'm tired, that might be code talk for I'm really, really depressed or anxious. Man, I remember. Okay, how fucked up is it that like I almost miss when I was just depressed? It's like, shit, this sucks, but I can handle it. Oh man, anxiety's the worst. It's so bad. It's so intense. It's just. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy if I had one. Hi, Hosk. Yeah, he knows what's up. Also, don't take that as like a general reference, like, because sometimes I am actually just tired. In what? How the fuck? You thought I was your worst enemy? No! Don't be stupid. This is my boy right here. He's 6'7", 250 pounds. I don't actually know how tall or heavy you are, but I'm just gonna say you're 6'7", 250. Anybody see my sweet therapy selfie today? What I said to my therapist today, because I went there, was that, like, I hope this doesn't skew my experience here, because I'm actually, like, almost ecstatic to be here. Because I called them, and they had a cancellation, and were able to see me the same day, and I was like, I won the fucking, like, mental health lottery just now. So I was like, yeah! We gonna get help! Get help! Guess what I got today? Oh, what's on the menu? Help! So that was sweet. But no, we did get into a lot of stuff, which was good. But just like, that's the frustrating part, is like trying to get an appointment. Hosk isn't even the best girl in this house. Hey, 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 hey! Smoke therapy. Do not smoke therapy. If therapy symptoms persist. I mean, I snapped that photo. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's just an empty door. On the hopes that anybody who's sort of like on the fence about that sort of thing would see that it's like not a big deal and to, you know, give it a shot, because it's been like pretty good to me, I think. You know, like results are mixed. Obviously, you know, depending on the person you get, or like, you know, sometimes you give what you get. But yeah, I'll give it a shot. The way I characterize therapy is, if all the horrible emotions you have are toxic waste that you don't want to dump on your friends, a therapist is a safe disposal site where they have the correct infrastructure for expelling, containing, and disposing of that kind of stuff. Why does it look like the Batman logo? A little bit. I mean, it's just kind of nice to be able to, like, you know, just spew everything and not feel like it's an imposition, because you are literally paying them to do that. I hate those stupid things. Your depression's working to protect itself? Yeah, ain't that the truth? It's like, no, you deserve to feel like this. You can't be helped. It's like, that's bullshit! You're just like, liar! Like a rub, you do lie. Oh god, no, 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 no! Fuck. Mental health is such a bastard because, like, it tells you the most exquisite, well-researched lies, and it has access to your entire back catalog of insecurities it can exploit. It's just like, you want to hear the best lies in the whole world. Check out the ones you tell yourself. Oh boy, are they convincing. Get. Should I come back from sewer leaving? Yep. I found an F&M. Oh boy. My tooth is a little sore. I had a wisdom tooth out recently. And by recently, I mean, was it yesterday? No, it was Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? I don't remember anymore. Ouch. I should probably take some Advil. Oi! Oh, there's a sub! The Dead Virgin! So for 5 months, having quite a shit day today. I was looking forward to talking to Sim, but sometimes it can't be done. Anyway, the reason I'm feeling down is because my mom, my hero, is in the hospital. She's getting tested for meningitis tomorrow. Best of luck with that. I hope it pans out as best as can be expected. All the best. Lugging over Japan, sub for 6 months. Healthy. Rella! Wait, you weren't subbed before? Holy shit. Well, welcome to the stream. I know who that is. Oh, it's Twitch Prime. Okay, you with your Ellens on. Piss. Stable job now. Bear, 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 bear. Bear. Your student loans are deferred? Yeah. Turns out they give you until the end of time to pay off your student loans, at least in this country. You can actually, like, defer payments for quite some time and get assistance on it. Are you laughing because of the end where I'm like, I want you to DPS very, very slowly? Yeah. Yeah, the only experience I can talk about is Canadian student loans, which you can call them up and be like, hey, I don't have any money, can you give me a break for a while? And most of the time they'll just be like, yeah. Eventually they'll be like, okay, but for serious, you need to start, you need to start paying this. What's all the bullies? 9 cells. Sea bats! Dead easy peasy. This shit's easy as fuck. We're talking about brain health, my dude. You see a therapist as well, don't you? Did you see how fucking hard I scored today? There was a cancellation and I got in the same day I called. Just like... I can't hear you, I'm raiding. Sorry, that came through as... All. Harsh. Hey, 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 hey! Let's all settle down here. The song posted on the Homestuck YouTube channel? Wait, what? There's more Homestuck via Snapchat? Fuck, how... That comic... It's so weird to think that, like... I have no idea how Andrew Hussie plans to archive that comic, because, like, near the end... Fuck, it's already happened! Part of that comic is told through Vines. And those are gone now. So... Well, shit, now I have to check that out. What happened to my fire sword? Hey! I mean, it is maybe like arguably a bad place for impermanence, but that's kind of like the language of the comic, and I think that's kind of cool. I mean, Homestuck is interesting because the Homestuck that a new reader reads is not going to be the same one that happened while the comic is live. Like the strip itself is being retroactively changed because of events that unfold in the comic. So there's nothing else like it. Madmansk is a new subscriber. Welcome to the comic. The comic? No, the stream. This is a stream. This is Streamsman. Somebody who's never read Homestuck, where's a good place to start? Like, I don't mean, actually, if you're thinking about reading Homestuck, read Problem Sleuth first. It's much shorter, and it will sort of introduce you to the narrative and comedy stylings of Homestuck, and if you're into it, like if you're like, oh, this is pretty funny, and I kind of grok this, then you'll probably be Homestuck. Yay! But yeah, like, the glib but also true answer is at the beginning. Like, just read it start to finish. Don't skip parts. And be sure to read the Pester logs, which at the bottom of frames there's like a sort of like read more thing. Make sure you read those, because otherwise you'll be getting like half the comic. I don't like it. I mean, it's also possible, yeah, like Coach Geek Girl says, that you might not like Problem Sleuth and really love Homestuck, or vice versa. I just thought it would be... A lot of people say, like, give that recommendation first. So, yeah, the big one that I point out is, like, don't skip parts. Because, like, there's parts where, you know, it sort of, yeah, it can drag a little bit. But it sets up important context for later. And if you don't have that context, then parts aren't going to make sense to you, or the jokes aren't going to land, or, like, you'll just have no idea who the fuck this character is. That sort of thing. Ooh! Perfect. Fucking flawless. Like, I imagine that, I mean, this is citation needed. Hussie has probably done something about the missing vines. I don't know what, but... I mean, find your own experience. I was definitely into reading the whole thing. It was cool. I liked it. I think it's a good comic, if you can even call it a comic. Like, I don't exaggerate when I say that Homestuck is an interactive web experience. Because it borrows storytelling tools from a variety of mediums and utilizes brand new mediums that were never, maybe arguably never even intended to be used for storytelling. Like I said, there's a part of the comic that is told through vines, because the character gets on Vine and starts posting vines. It's really... Oh yeah, I saw that picture of Hussey. He's a weird guy. Really big lips. Also, you could read Paradox Space, although without the context of who the fuck the characters are, it might be a little more of a challenging read, but there's some really good strips there. 8 cells left. I don't think Paradox Space is updated in a long time, but the last strip that I know of where Vriska comes to visit Equius to try and butter him up so she can get a cyborg arm is so funny. Just the hoops she jumps through to not actually ask him for anything. As she's bleeding to death. Wait, what? What? Ow. Hello.
Hey, Alex. What you playing? Oh, Dead Cells.
Dead Cells. Get good.
Yeah, I've heard it's really, really good.
Xvania, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just telling you I'm leaving, so you're not like, where is Kathleen? Can I leave? Will I lock her out of the office?
All right. Well, I will walk up after I leave in like half an hour.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'll get it.
Alrighty.
Bye, internet. See you later.
Bye-bye.
I took the weekend off, so I've had to work late 2 nights this week to catch up.
Decent. Why is this guy hitting me like a fucking train? Come on, dude. God damn it. How do I feel about Oglaf? A+. Oglaf is so fucking funny. It's actually one of the best webcomics on the internet right now. That having been said, it is X-rated. But fuck, it's funny. It's so well drawn and so funny and just... Yeah, if you're not shy about full-on tits and sex, read Oglaf. It's really funny. It is enormously funny. Well, they say something in the description that it was like it started off as a porn comic that very rapidly just became a humor comic, and I think it's much better for it. I never read Bob and George. I'm not familiar with that one. There's a strip that Kim has been reading. I think it's by Casey Green. What the fuck is it called? It's one word, and the main character is like this gunslinger. Fuck, what's her name? Abigail? Is it just called Back? Yeah, I think it's just called Back. It looks pretty funny. Also, it seems to be doing a little bit of, you know, Homestuck style humor, making fun of, like, adventure game mechanics. Oh yeah, Hyperbole and a Half is quite good. Fucking Final Fountain of Doubt. It's subtle, isn't it? Maybe it's a Fountain of Doubt. Fuck! God, that comic's good. Oh my god, the Labyrinth one is so good. There's a handful of, like, perfectly safe for work Olaf strips that are also really, really good. Oh, the gnomes. Remember that time they made that giant sword that fucks your wife? Wait, you have to retrieve these? Oh, that's interesting. Dang it. Wow! Wow! Wow. I love these little bottles. Dang it. I think my concentration is probably shot. Fucker. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, what gives you the right? Ooh, perfect. Hey. Wait, did I get cursed? What does that skull times 2 mean? You're allowed to give other comic recommendations. Yeah, go nuts. The boots maybe deal damage, but I take double damage. Oh. Wow. Wait. Just with the boots, or? Oh, get fucked. Oh, we're going to town. I'll kick you apart! I'll kick you apart! Hi. Four more. Hey. Hello. Oiled sword. Neat. I'll be going for another 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna eat food. Hey, hey, hey! Get wrecked, son. Best boots. Oh, Dumbing of Age. I've actually not read Dumbing of Age. I've read Walkie Performs as Sex, though, which is the smut tie-in of Dumbing of Age. Whoa! 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 Holy shit! Did you see how bad he cleaned up my health bar? Joker Mage! Come to the channel. And did I get Mad Mansk? I think so. Woof! I should probably read that comic to have the context. I miss boots. Fucking Rona's face. I didn't realize that was a cam joke. Hashtag Rona's face. Who is a Scorponok? I'm trying to decide if I want to get... This is my stupid decision for the day. If I want to get a Kinky Jiki for my Highlander toolkit. Because, 4-color Kiki Pod is a... I want to say it's a tier 1 deck in our format, and it's really, really interesting to play. Like, the lines that Pat Berdusco, who is, like, kind of the primary designer of the deck, the lines that he describes are really, really interesting. Mennonite for 15 months. Save myself for talking some so I can say that while I don't often get to be here during the stream, love what you and Cam do and watch it on YouTube. Keep it up. Games are worth putting thought into. Yeah, I think so. That's for Highlander. Like, Kiki Pod can... I think it can just... To give you an idea of how broken Birthing Pod is, I think in Kiki Pod you can just pod any 3-drop into a win. So I'm trying to think exactly how it works. Because you pod the 3-drop into Felidar Guardian, untap pod, Felidar Guardian, get Karmic Guide. Karmic Guide returns Felidar Guardian untaps pod. You pod you pod Felidar Guardian again into Kiki-Jiki. Excuse me, Kiki-Jiki copies Karmic Guide, brings back Felidar Guardian again. Then you untaps pod. Yeah, then you'd pod Felidar Guardian into Zealous Conscripts, untap Kiki, and then kill them. So any 3-drop and pod means you win. I don't think you need Revelark. I think there is a version of that combo where you get Revelark, but... Ah! Why? Why? Yeah, or just Kiki the Guardian. Many whelps, even side! Oh, I should just probably buy this stupid thing. And not overthink it. I'm really hungry, too. Ow! Hey! Sit down. This fucking shield asshole is just the worst. Is there like a fight this guy mechanic? He can't steal stuff. So toast. Oh, hey. Oh, no, wait. We get all our health back now. Four more items. Shit. These are starting to get more expensive. Am I hyped for Hello Neighbor? What's Hello Neighbor? Get out of here with your attempted murder. I already made that joke. Hello Neighbor with Oh, if you unlock a weapon, you get a drop. Yeah, I noticed that before. I just not really paying that much attention. It's an exploration survival stealth game, yeah. Oh yeah. Interesting. Look at these goober boys. See, this is what I sort of like about the roguelite aspect of these sort of games, is even if you have a bunch of like really shitty runs, you're still kind of gaining a small amount of incremental advantage forward. You're breaking into your neighbor's house and he's real creepy? That sounds weird. Oh boy. Oh no. Nang nang nang. Oh, fucksicles. Go away! Get on your bike! TTC update on Zombielander deck? It's not good. The deck still isn't really working. I've been giving it some thought. At least not in the form that I want it to. Like, there's still not enough cards to make an aggro deck that works. So I've been thinking about, and Ben Wheeler's sort of been thinking about, like, how you could use zombies as like a sort of sub-theme or complementary theme or something. But I was really, really kind of frustrated with Hour of Devastation. There was like no good zombies in it. And like the Eternalized creatures are marginal and not actually zombies if you don't eternalize them. So I was just like, I just want 1 and 2 drops. Where are the 1 and 2 drops? Even the Indestructible Grinding Zombie? I don't think so. Is that the one that costs like a bunch of mana? Yeah, like the cards are not that exciting. Like there's a bear that makes both players discard, and then like a 2/2 with Afflict 1 that's just like... I've heard Ice Grenade is good. A couple of the Eternalized cards seem kind of okay for regular Highlander Constructed, although it'll be interesting to see if they end up that great. Like the red 2/1 with haste seems pretty good. It actually seems pretty good in like aggressive red strategies. It's probably going to be fine in like red-green. Probably fine in mono-red. The Kitty Cat seems pretty good. Like it's like a duelist that comes back as like an 8/4. Why am I not using my abilities? Oh, that was on cooldown. Yeah, the double striker. Yeah, Earthshaker, Kenra, and the cat. The new gods, they cost 1 million mana. Like, they're super cool, but, like, they're competing with M11 Titans that do a lot of stuff when they interplay. It's like, oh, this 6-drop that's gonna do some really, really sweet stuff when I untap with it. Oh, it died in Doomblade. That's, you know, I know that that's, like, a fake argument, but, like, having your 6-drops have an impact is important in our format. Like, they have to do something. And that something has to be pretty big. It's like, you know, they're competing with stuff like, what are the 6-drops that get played? Like, blue doesn't even really play 6-drops. It plays, Torrential Gearhulk now. Like, Inferno Titan sees a little bit of play. Like, the 6-drops in our format are like Wormcoil Engine, a couple of Planeswalkers like 6-mana Elspeth, 6-mana Chandra, actually. She ended up being pretty playable in our format. Oh yeah, Primeval Titan, obviously, yeah. That's a Prime Time, and that one that tutors for a 3-drop rain creature, Woodland Bellower, that one's also really good. You know, like cards that just do stuff. Like Woodland Bellower is stupid because it's like a 6/5 that gets a free 3-drop. Never mind Valakut, you can just get Dark Depths Thespian stage and kill them next turn. One of the most powerful combos, like 1-card combos in Highlander, is and it's the reason this card is 5 points, is Natural Order. You cast Natural Order into any green creature. You go and get Primeval Titan. Put Primeval Titan into play. With his land trigger, you get Dark Depths, Thespian Stage. And then you have a 6/6 with Trample that's going to start getting value. And you also have like a 20/20 Indestructible Flyer on tap. That seems like pretty good EV for 4 mana. Dark Depths and New Mirror? What? You can't get... New Mirror's not a land. Like, that's why Prime Time is so powerful, is he gets 2 lands at the same time, and it's the 2 parts of the combo. Vesuva does not see play in Highlander, except maybe in Scape Shift. Mirror becomes a land, but you can't search for it as a land. What is it? If no, it's an artifact, so it doesn't combo with Prime Time because you can't go and get it. The new Snake looks playable. I mean, because it's Crucible of Worlds on a stick. How is Scape Shift a thing in Highlander? You cast Scape Shift into 7 lands and you kill them. That's how it's a thing in Highlander. It's also just like a perfectly solid, I think, rug-based ramp deck. I want to say it's like a tier 2 deck, maybe. We don't see it very often. But yeah, like, Scape Shift is absolutely a thing in Highlander because, like, it's a 1-card combo. You cast Scape Shift into 7 lands and you win. And then also you just have this solid deck. I wish I had something to light this on fire with. The sorcery that grabs 2 lands. It's like, because it's 5 mana, right? For literally 1 more mana, you get Primeval Titan. That one's not all that exciting. And they come in tapped as well. It's just like, I think I would rather have a 6/6 with Trample that's going to repeat the effect for 1 more mana. And also have it as a creature that I can go looking for. I think it's pretty easy to have enough mountains for Scape Shift to work now as well. Whee! Ow. God dang it. Yeah, you only need 1 Valakut. You don't need multiple copies of Valakut. Or if you do, you are copying them anyway. Crucible of Sneck or Sneck of Worlds? Oh, that's tough. How regular token strats in Highlander? They're not bad. It's also probably not an expensive deck. Matthew Greer was running Mardu tokens recently, and he had a stack of sleeve tokens that was like this tall. Played some pretty dank cards. I think you could play white-black tokens, Boros tokens, Mardu tokens, actually Naya tokens. I think may have won Highlander once. Because you could play sweet stuff like Deranged Hermit. You get to play, was it Croesus? Not Croesus Charm. The Naya Charm. I don't remember it. But it makes 3 1/1s. Also Selesnya, like, there's pretty decent token support in everything except blue. But even blue, you have, like, Mikey Newman's card. The fucking squid making thing. Whatever it's called. And you also get access to Opposition, which I hear is pretty strong in tokens. Chasm Skulker, thank you. Squidala. But yeah, most of the most of the best token making effects are in like, I want to say white first, followed by green and red. Is Talrand a thing in Canlander? It can be. I think he's pretty good in like more budgety Izzet decks. Because at 4 CMC it's like tough to like land him and have mana up for a spell you can cast. But you can do it. The card's cheap like dirt and is like will win the game if you can stick him and keep him on the table. Yes. Put it in my inventory. Kia! Wrist Charm, thank you. That's the one. Yeah, Wrist Charm is playable. It's quite playable. I don't even remember what the other modes are. I just know that it's 3 mana instant make 3 1/1s, which is, I think, probably fine on its own. Prevent all damage a source would deal or destroy a non-basic land. That's good. That card's good. Play that card. That's quite flexible. Those are all relevant modes. Oh, I couldn't get the yellow. Yeah, blowing up on non-basic as like a... Oh, maybe you could play that in some sort of like dank LD, like Naya LD. I don't think LD really works in Highlander. Nobody's ever made one that particularly worked. But maybe. I think to make an LD themed deck, you would have to... You have to either make it incidentally land destruction based or just have like all the LD also be a threat. Because that's the problem with something, it's like, oh, I'm going to blow up all their lands and then I don't have a way to win. Or like, they ramped and so now I can't ever hope to blow up any of their lands. It's the same with like really, really heavy discard decks, is like, what do you do once they run out of cards? It's like, well, I have all these discard spells that don't do anything. And in theory, that should stop them from doing anything. Oh, but they top decked a Titan. Womp womp. Is Loma deck in Canlander? Only for search. Sinkhole's super playable. But mostly in like mono black or like heavy black based aggro. Yeah, Surge, I think, might be the only person I know who's made Life in the Loam work. Like, he plays lands. Which is not a super duper competitive deck, but is also one of the most expensive decks in the format. It's the one that you build because you like it, and you randomly have access to all these cards. That's cool. Yeah, 8-rack doesn't work at all. I mean, 8-rack is a little bit sketchy to start with. Yeah, you build lands when you suddenly acquire a Tabernacle and are just like, I wish I could play this in something. It's like, well, you can. You can play it in lands. And you can make all the aggro players very, very unhappy. Is Kinlander too fast for a dragon deck to be a thing? So here's the thing with dragons and Highlander. The only ones that see play are the 5 mana ones with haste. And they're very good. But like a dedicated like dragon deck? Not really. It's just like 6 mana for like a big dork. There's like, I'm trying to think of ones that would be good in our format. Like Thundermaw, Hellkite, and Stormbreath Dragon, and now more recently, Glorybringer are all real good. Because they do something immediately, and they're really, really powerful, and they just win the game all on their own. The nearest thing I can think of that would be comparable is Big Red, which is a mono red artifact ramp based, like, play huge dumb idiots, blood moon them out, play every like sweeper spell imaginable. Because it plays a couple of dragons, but like it plays all those ones that I mentioned, but also Steel Hellkite, which is one of the only other playable dragons I can think of. Canlander does not have a sideboard. We tried it for a season and it sucked. It was so bad. Actually, while we're talking about Highlander, you should listen to Liam and Jer's recent podcast. I think it's on the Canadian Highlander Twitter account, one of their more recent retweets. Because they did a podcast that's very... Really? We're running it back? God dang. The topic was how to beat the best decks in the format, which not only is really useful, but it talks about your ability to, like, because it's a format with no sideboard, you know, how you choose to include or not include hate cards, how you can best strategize against like these tier 1 decks that will probably be in the format. So just like card choices, strategy choices. It's a really interesting episode. So if somebody has the link handy for that. Big Red is the only deck that Combustible Gearhulk gets played in, and it's actually pretty good. Matthew Greer just plays that card and like stares at his opponent. It's like, you want to roll the dice? Because he plays like 8 drops. He plays like Ugin and like Karn and shit like that. Wait, I can just do that. I'm so out of health. Ugh, so many spikes. No, don't wanna. Angle. Angle. Oh, spikes! E. I have a fucking health potion on my person. So fucking bad at this game. Enchantress? Another Surge special. It sees occasional play, but the deck's really cool and maybe not that great. But if you're interested, definitely talk to Surge about that, because he's been working on that deck for a long time. It's been a while since anybody tried building Boros aggro. For the longest time, we were convinced that paradoxically the deck wasn't very good. Because you'd think it's like, oh, it's the best parts of White Weenie and the best parts of Mono Red together. And it just never really performed. Although that might be different now because they printed a lot of new cards. Nope. No. That ain't me. That ain't me, fam. That ain't me. Peace. Ugh. I'm so hurt. Three more. Best way to get in touch with Serge is on Twitter. I think it's at Serge Jaeger with a Y. Somebody will have to help me with that. Jeskai is definitely a tier 1 deck in our format. It's very, very good. You just play a whole bunch of real good cards. What the fuck? What the frickety? 4 colors is greedy. It has worked, but you will fold to Blood Moon. And you will feel a chill run up your spine when somebody, like, casts Price of Progress. Oh yeah, we're, like, super overtime. Anyway, I should go home. Because I need to have more drugs for my tooth. And also eat some food at some point. So thank you all for watching. It's a shame Cam couldn't be here. But back tomorrow. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. The crapshoot. Stick around for the crapshoot. That'll happen. And yeah. Take care of yourselves and take care of one another. I'll see you next time.